Hello and welcome to Ivy Times TV. I'm Sally Turner, joined here today with Amanda Remling to give you a recap of episode 3 of The Walking Dead and some spoilers for season 4. Amanda, episode 3 started a little slow, but it turned out Carol was a murderer. Now, did we see this coming?
Some fans thought they saw it coming, and there was a couple of hints since the beginning of season 4. And from the start, we've seen that she's evolved from this character that was weak and depressed about, being beat by her husband in season 1 and losing her daughter in season 2. And now she's teaching kids how to, wield weapons and fight back. And now she just burned these 2 people who were presumably alive and suffering from this new threat, flu-like symptom. And during this week's episode, halfway through the episode, we saw that she got really upset over a comment that Tyrese made to her. And Tyrese asked Carol to keep an eye on his sister Sasha. And he said that, he's asking her to do it because he knows how caring she is and how she looks after everybody. So the comment really got to her, and it turns out later on it was real that it got to her because she's actually the one that murdered Karen, who was Tyrese's girlfriend, and, burned them alive just because there was a threat of them just carrying this virus and infecting others.
Speaking of the new threat, in episode 1, we didn't know too much about it. There was a lot of speculation. You even suggested Ebola. Mm-hmm. So what do we now know about it in episode 3?
We still don't know too much. Like I said, all we know is that it's a flu, and more people are getting infected. So right now there's a whole side of the prison that is filled with people that might be ill. It's in quarantine.
Hyundai presents scenes from the next episode of The Walking Dead.
You find out who did this and you bring them to me. You understand?
I'm just digging graves. We can do something. We can fight.
I can't let you do this.
You don't have a choice. You breathe and you risk your life. The only thing you can choose is what you're risking it for.
For more video, go to AMC.com.
Daryl, Michonne, Bob, and Tyrese out for supplies and medicine. And in the meantime, while they're out, Herschel is trying to treat them with this elderberry, which is supposedly supposed to take down the time that it takes to recover from the flu.
And there is also a new threat invading the prison, zombies. So how big of a role is this going to play throughout the season?
Well, I mean, the walkers have always been a threat to the prison. A couple of weeks ago we saw that, they were attacking the fence and almost, ripped down the fence last week. So this time when Daryl and the group went out to search for supplies, they got stopped by a major horde of zombies. Hundreds, thousands of zombies in their way, and it's all on this path that's heading towards the prison. So it hasn't really been discussed yet. Are they gonna, head right towards the prison? Is something leading them there? Are they gonna completely look past? But as we learned in season 2, with a horde that big, they completely tore through Herschel's house. So it's definitely possible that they can get through the gate and break into the prison. So it becomes now the issue is that are they going to leave the prison, which is something that the producers kind of teased. They said that it's going to start off at the prison this season, but will it end up there? And that's what we'll have to figure out with this new threat of this horde coming.
Wow. Okay, so we've done a good recap of episode 3. So what can we expect for episode 4?
Episode 4, things are going to continue getting intense. Right now, Daryl and the group are going to run into some problems out in the woods as they search for the medicine. So they finally get to a veterinary school, which is going to have all this medication. But inside there's walkers, and they can make it out alive. Is everyone in their group going to survive? Can they even transport it back to the prison? Mm-hmm. And they're obviously, since they're running into these problems and these people need the medicine immediately, Rick and Carol are going to go out on their own and search for supplies. And this episode's actually going to find 2 new characters being introduced. So since we killed off 14 in the first 2 episodes, we'll get 2 more. But these 2 new characters are, they're in their 20s, and one of them has really been shielded in this, she believes everything's going to be fine. And the other guy's a bit of a joker. So I don't know if they're related or not. That hasn't actually been discussed, but we'll have 2 new characters, 1 male, 1 female, and we'll see how they interact with the group.
Great, can't wait. Thanks, Amanda.
You got it.